on right now because
All right, everyone. Welcome to the first Bushwick Nonprofit Roundtable. It's not the first time we've all been in a room and had a conversation, but I believe it's the first time CB4 has convened folks, in the near recent history. Our last conversations as a larger community, many of you will likely remember, were during the Bushwick Community Plan Days. But just want to say thank you first and foremost for taking the time to be here. We all have incredibly busy schedules, especially this time of year. So we want to be mindful of everyone's time. And we'll start with an introduction. And, I have an icebreaker. This is something that Mr. Camacho and I used to do. We had a theme for every year. And then I guess we got so busy, we forgot to do a theme for this year. But the theme that we had at one point was one good thing, some good news. I think a lot of us are very used to being in the epicenter of issues and problems, right? We're the problem solvers in the community. But it's difficult times to remember the good news too. So when you introduce yourself, you could provide name, your organization, just a brief overview of your role, what you do, what the organization does, and one good thing. All right, sound good? So we can do popcorn style if everyone's used to that. I will bump it to Millie from Communities Resist, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Millie Sandoval. I am the Director of Organizing at Communities Resist. One good thing, my tenant association on 316 Troutman has been out of gas and hot water, and it finally came on after 8 days of fighting Department of Buildings, the landlord, and HPD.
Wow.
So we're happy about that. And I will popcorn it over to Maria. Hi, Maria.
I'm going to say, is this to Maria Vieira? Hi, Millie. Thank you so much. And if I didn't really know if it was me, it's because I'm gonna stand on the West Side Story thing, the joke about when Tony runs down the street calling Maria, Maria. Did I tell you this before? Is this like a no joke? And only one light turns on, like in Spanish Harlem. How many Marias are there in Spanish Harlem? So I'm like, which Maria? That was a sour joke. Sorry. So my name is Maria Vieira. I am Vice President of Community Affairs at Riceboro Community Partnership, an organization that has been around for 50 years, first started providing services for seniors out of a senior center at 319 Stanhope. Now provides services to over 10,000 seniors a year, where that was just like a little bit of, it started with like 20 seniors. And now we provide services to 10,000 seniors annually via Meals on Wheels, senior centers, case management, home care, and a whole gamut of services that are provided for the benefit of seniors, as well as an education division that provides after school programming. Sorry that it's going to be long, Millie, sorry. After school programs for kids, as well as adult education, GED, high school equivalency, English as a second language, adult literacy, and also mentorship for youth of color. In the education division. Then we have the home base, the empowerment division that does career counseling, as well as homelessness prevention, as well as runs the legal empowerment and assistance program, where there are attorneys there, and tenant organizers that help prevent egregious landlords, that help prevent homelessness and wrongful evictions. We also have, did I say home care? We have the home care that provides services, home health aides to about 1,200 clients every single day. What else do we do, Randall? What am I missing? I'm missing a lot. We also have a food justice program, an assisted living program. We do advocacy, a lot. There's so much that I myself forget how much this organization actually does, as well as is an affordable housing provider in Bushwick for over 2,500 units of housing in Bushwick. Alone. I mean, in other places, but in this is about Bushwick. So in Bushwick, 2,500 units of affordable housing. And what I do, as I said, is I'm community affairs. So I wear different types of hats under the community affairs gamut, but yeah, that's what I do. Not in a nutshell. That took a minute. I'm going to popcorn.
Before you do, Maria, what's your one good thing?
Oh, the one good thing. The one good thing. The one good thing is what we just did on Thanksgiving Day that we have done for 50 years, and that is to deliver a warm meal to seniors that have no one else, that are isolated, that don't have a family that can visit them or cook for them on a holiday. And we just did that on Thanksgiving, and we will do it again on Christmas morning. That's a one good thing for me.
Excellent.
And I'm going to popcorn it to Cynthia Peña Ortiz.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cynthia Peña Ortiz. I'm the program director of, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I am the program director of the Bushwick Community Partnership here at the Coalition for Hispanic Family Services. So this is where I take a pause because it's a lot. And we also have a lot of services here at the Coalition for Hispanic Family Services. As I mentioned, we have the community partnership, and what the community partnership is and does is that we provide information and resources to folks in the community. Taking it a step beyond that is that we really build on a framework of collective impact, meaning that we want to collaborate with folks, especially like folks in this room, because we believe that in changing language, right? So we're changing the language from a community in need to a community that has strengths, families that have strengths. We're seeing the safety and well-being of children with an approach of a family approach, right? So that means your grandmother, the neighbors, the guy in the bodega, we all have a piece in how we keep our children and families safe. And we also are understanding that each family comes with a strength, meaning that we are building on that and collaborating with folks to do that. So the Coalition is also the only foster care agency of color in New York City. Why is that important, and why do I always say that to folks? Because that means that the leadership, the people making the decisions in a system that, you know, has been systematic in terms of who enters the foster care system. We have the people who are making the decision where we put our families, where we put our children, being with families of color. That is not my program, so don't ask me too many questions. I can only give you the elevator pitch for that. We also have a community school, 2 community schools, but here in Bushwick we have a community school, a beacon center, as well as 2 cornerstones. That means we have Hope Gardens Community Center, as well as Cooper. And we also have arts and literacy programming. We have a mental health clinic here, and it is in person. We try to do virtual as well, but we have that. We have the program called SIFTIS, which allows folks to go into a family's home and, you know, work with whatever diagnosis the child had. Once again, not my program, but I'm giving you all the elevator pitch for it. We have preventive services, and we have been working a lot on getting families not to come through ACS, but rather advocacy cases. Let's say if they need some case management, we're changing the language around that. And I always say language is very important for us, not just Spanish, speaking the language that the community speaks, whether it's Spanish or whatever language they might speak, but also how we talk to folks, right? So we're talking to folks from a perspective of you know, not just services, but you might need additional housing applications, right? And so on. And that's where we come on in with our advocacy preventive cases. We are an Article 29I. I cannot speak on that, unfortunately. Don't know much about that, but that's pretty much it. And the one thing that I do want to end on a like a positive to it, which is also connected to the services we have. We're very intentional in the work we do. I always mention that when we grow with purpose. And that comes with us being awarded a family enrichment center that you will hear me talk forever and always here in Bushwick, because it is very near and dear to my heart. We don't have a space yet. And if you have any space that is over 2,000 square feet, that doesn't have a lot of columns, that is open, please let me know, because we would love to go check it out. But we are opening a family enrichment center here in Bushwick. It is going to be very community driven, community led, and we've been advocating for this center for a while now, since ACS had originally 3. Now it's expanding to 30, but one is coming to Bushwick. And I'm gonna popcorn it to Asanet. I see your name is in Asanet, but I'm gonna pass it to you.
Hi, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to share space, even if virtual, with you all. I'm Asenet Gomez, and I'm from El Puente. As you may know, we have a center right on Central Avenue in Bushwick, and we work primarily with young people who are middle, high school, and young adults. As an organization, our mission is to inspire and nurture leaders of peace and justice. So a lot of the work our young people do is around, exploring, identifying, and activating around issues that they are concerned around in our own community, but in the larger community and in the world as well. With that, I want to apologize for being 8 minutes late. So if I am passing it to somebody that has already gone, please forgive me. Lucy, can I pass it to you? I'm not sure if you already introduced yourself.
Asanat, and yeah, before everyone else goes, just to give everyone an overview, you got the intro part right and the overview part. We're doing an icebreaker with one good thing. So you have to share one good thing, one piece of good news. And then Lucy, you can kick it off.
Okay, one piece of good news organizationally, or yes?
Whichever, whatever good news you have. Some good news.
Okay, well, I guess I'll share a personal piece of good news, and that is that yesterday I celebrated 25 years of being married. I guess that's a milestone, as my mother says. That's a silver anniversary. So I'll share that with all of you.
Thank you.
That's I consider that a death sentence.
Camacho.
Well, a death sentence with really good fruits, Mr. Camacho. So with that, I'll pass it to you, Luz.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Excuse I'm under the weather also. My name is Lucy Jackson. She, her. I'm here representing the Bushwick Star. Some of you may know better our artistic director and co-founder, Noel Elaine, who sends his love in regards to everybody. So I'm the producing director at the Bushwick Star. So I oversee the producing of our shows and our programs. We are a nonprofit theater and community venue. We used to have a space on Star Street. And when we lost it in 2020, we found a new space, which is on Eldred Street at Wyckoff. And we're in the process of renovating 5,000 square foot warehouse there to be a new theater and community space, which we're really excited about. We produce about three show productions a year. We also have education programs. We partner with Apuente on our education programs, and we've also partnered with them on our shows. We've continued to produce while we don't have our space. We've been sort of squatting in other people's buildings, including the Williamsburg Leadership Center at Apuente. And we have a program called Big Green Theater that we that is an environmentally focused climate justice theater program for elementary school students in the district. And we also have senior center programs that are funded by Sukasa that we partner with Riseborough amongst others on. And we also love to give free tickets to our shows to members of the community. We're super excited to actually have a building again and have a space that we can open up to everybody. The new space is projected to open in summer of 2024. And it will have a lobby area, it'll have a studio space, then it'll have the main theater. It'll also have a workshop where we'll be able to build sets and things. And we're hoping to start a workforce development program there to train local community members and anyone who wants to come and like learn some of a trade, like carpentry, how to be an electrician. One of the local buildings near us now is, I think, a CBS soundstage as well. So there's like lots of sort of the production activity in the area that we're hoping we can sort of help. We can help be a bridge into careers in the arts or other kinds of arts related trades and things like that. I think that's all from us for now. Thanks for everyone's ongoing support always, and to be in community. It's really great. A good thing is honestly, we had a lot of setbacks in our construction. This is our first time doing a big project like this. We were lucky we got money from the city. We city funded, and we finally started construction, and of course. They found some structural issues with the roof that we had to deal with, but the roof is fixed and we're moving forward and we're thrilled about that. We have a floor, we have a ceiling, so it's only up from here. So that's my piece of good news right now. And I will pass it to Nalisha. Can I pass it to you?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. I'm Alicia, also from the Riseborough Community Partnership. I won't give you that whole spiel, but I manage the SBS Neighborhood 360 grant, which is given to us by small business services in the city of New York to do motion organizing, community coordination, beautification and cleanliness, business support, and placemaking. So I work closely with a lot of the business owners along some of Bushwick's major commercial avenues, so like Wyckoff Avenue, Knickerbocker Avenue, Wilson, all of those good places. We want to make sure that they are maintaining compliance and they have the tools and resources to continue to serve the community. A little bit of like, what was it, like one good thing? One good thing, I guess, I've been here for about a year now, and I feel like I'm getting really good. When I began, everyone in like all of the meetings would talk about like, yeah, it's at this cross street, like sit down and Wilson, and I like had no idea where that was. But now I'm doing it because now I can understand. So that's good. I will pass it to Selena. Are you hands off? I can't. Selena?
Selena, you're muted if you're there.
She had written in the chat that she'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right. So we could. Someone else?
Yeah,
Yeah. Captain Douglas, go for it.
Sorry, I just needed to unmute myself. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Douglas, and I'm the administrator over the Salvation Army Bushwick. First, I apologize. Like, today is my day off, and I got the invitation late, so I'm in the car right now because I was out. But I felt it was important to make it to the meeting. Just to give you an overview, as I said, I'm the administrator for the Salvation Army Bushwick. We've been serving the community for 50 plus years. We have soup kitchen, food pantry, daycare, after school program, music programs, character building programs, and spiritual development for all ages. Our soup kitchen, our food pantry run 4 days a week. Our soup runs from 12 to about 1:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And our food pantry runs from 10 to about 11:30, 12. Our music programs are geared mostly for the kids because what we believe is that our motto as the Salvation Army is to meet human needs without discrimination. And we want to see individuals to develop a holistic life, not just in one aspect, but in every aspect. So we have social services, we have educational programs, we have different things to enable individuals to grow into their full potential. One good thing, or I think you said, I don't know if it's a joy or something to celebrate. Even at looking at our statistics a few weeks ago, I realized that we served about 13,000 meals thus far for the year. And I'll pass it over to Irene. Is it Irene? Irene K?
Hi, everyone. So good to see you. So good working with a lot of you over the years. I'm Irene Krivanasova with Metro World Child, better known in the neighborhood as Yogi Bear. This is our main, the children's programs are the heart and what we've been doing in the community for 40 years. But also we are the global headquarters for our faith-based nonprofit. So out of Bushwick, we facilitate operations in 13 countries, reaching almost 500,000 children weekly with food programs, faith-based programs, spiritual care, schools, things like that. Here in Bushwick, in addition to our Sunday school programs and pastoral care, we also run food pantries, migrant resources, work closely with a number of shelters, provide home visits to families, and work with some of the organizations represented here to facilitate food distribution and things like that. And it's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to serve here and serve the community. And good thing and highlights, a couple weekends ago, we had a sit-down Thanksgiving lunch for over 900 kids in one day with adults and parents. It was 1,300 people in the building, all out of our kitchen here at 871 Bushwick. Was the craziest but the funnest day of the year for us. Right now, we're in our Christmas programs as well. And from Thanksgiving to just speaking to our staff this week, the families who we serve on the weekends, we serve people in English, Spanish, Creole, French, Russian, Polish. There were a few families from Hungary and lots of migrants from the west coast of Africa as well. So between our international staff and mouth to mouth and friend to friend translation services, we're able to provide a lot of the services that we do in so many languages. So that's the joy. I'll popcorn it to Camacho because he looks like he has something to say.
Yo, you didn't tell us something nice. We're waiting for that one.
I did. I told you, yo hablo español en este tiempo.
Oh, that's what that was something nice that you talked about. All right. Well, I'd like to thank all of y'all, and I'd like to thank Celeste for putting this together, because like that we know what services people would ask if they would come. Uh, as you know, I wear a lot of hats. I get involved and everything. I just want to, uh, like I told Celeste, me and her always wondering what's going on, and so many things that are happening. We never sit down and say the good things that we do, you know, for the community. And the good thing that I got was in Hope Garden, as you know, is going through the RAD conversion, and is under public development now, no longer niches. So it's a private, and I have been helping a lot of these tenants, and today I had got news that a tenant that's been in the building for over 30 years in that building, and because her immediate family passed away, she wasn't on the lease. She was on the lease, but there was a lot of problems with them. So hopefully now I heard that she's going to get a voucher to stay in that apartment after 40 something years. So, you know, to have these people, you know, fight for them, and it's, you know, linking together and the community together and everybody getting the services together. So hopefully they're requesting an interview for her to receive hopefully her. So that's, I'm happy because the person's been there all their lives, born and raised. So I'm happy for the young lady. And before the thing was that before she even wasn't there, the family member that was on the lease was wasn't feeling was sick, and then he passed away, and she left her apartment to take care of her brother. So now all of a sudden she's out of an apartment now because of the RAD conversion. She wasn't on the lease, which she was, and paperwork got lost. You know what happens when you give paperwork to the city? It goes in the X file. So I have been fighting and fighting and fighting. So eventually I got an email today saying that is a possibility they're going to interview her for her Section 8 voucher. So I'm glad that we can keep her there. So that was the happy part.
Who are you gonna pass it to, Camacho? You muted.
I'm not gonna pass it to you, Celeste, because I know you're gonna beat me up. No, I'm only kidding. Who else is on there? I can't see everybody, but let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get.
Yeah, take it.
You want me to help you out, Arlene? Do you want to go, Arlene?
Sure, that sounds great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arlene Cruz Escobar. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I'm the Director of Health Programs at Make the Road. Robert, thank you for sharing that story. I mean, for us at Make the Road, freedom to stay, freedom to thrive is so important, and you know, having affordable housing is part of that. So at Make the Road, we're one of the largest participatory organizations in the state. We have roughly 25,000 members statewide. And we have a community center in Bushwick, where we also have a food pantry and offer a slew of services. We have like nightly community organizing meetings around different issue areas like, you know, housing, immigration, workplace justice, TGNCIQ. And so we also provide services such as health insurance enrollment and navigation, SNAP enrollment. We have a community health worker training that is actually graduating tomorrow. We're graduating about 30 new community health workers that will go into the community, you know, very soon. So we're excited about that. We also have English classes, we have citizenship classes, and we also have a legal team that provides some assistance around immigration, such as citizenship applications, DACA applications, that's open to everyone in the community. And we really want to make sure that we fight for dignity and justice for immigrant and low income individuals in the state. And so what that means for us is that we collect constant feedback from community members that really fuel and kind of feed the policies that we push for. So we work on campaigns, and campaign session is coming up very soon, that will hopefully, help the systemic issues that a lot of our communities face. One of my priorities this year is working on the Coverage for All campaign, which hopes to expand health insurance coverage to undocumented New Yorkers under 250% of the federal poverty level. This last year we got so close, and so we're really, kind of gearing up and getting ready for this upcoming session. And I guess, my good thing that happened is that just this past week, New York State had released a 1332 waiver application amendment. This amendment, what it does is that it asks for state funding for healthcare expansion. However, undocumented New Yorkers were excluded from that expansion, even though Governor Hochul had promised to include them. And so there was this comment period that was open. In a matter of a week, we were able to collect over 350 comments, which to me is amazing. And hopefully, through this comment collection, we're able to really push the state to make the amendments that we need, want, and deserve for our communities. So thank you for, allowing me to share that. And I guess I'm not sure who hasn't gone. I saw Selena shaking her hand.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm not feeling good today, but nonetheless, I'm happy to be here. My name is Selena LeBron. I am part of the outreach team here at New York Psychotherapy and Counseling Center, also known as NYPCC. And one great thing, great news I'm really not supposed to share, but I'll share with you guys because I love Bushwick. We are expected to open up a Queens clinic at NYPCC. So we're expanding and sharing and spreading the love. So if you know anyone who needs services in Queens, we'll definitely keep you posted, and we'll start sending you like the expected date to open. But it's definitely going to be in 2024. So that's something that's going good here. And that's pretty much it for me, guys.
I will help us out just because I know most folks have gone, but I'm going to do a stack if folks just want to remember the stack. Next, I'll have Anna, then Krista, then Educated Little Monsters, and then Randall, I believe. And then if we're missing any, and then Darner after that. So Anna, Krista, and then Educated Little Monsters, Randall, and Darner. And we'll go from there. You muted, Anna.
Oh, sorry. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Anna from Churches United for Fair Housing. I'm the deputy director. Do I talk about like our program, what we do? I came in a little late.
Yeah, your role and an overview of the services the org provides. Yeah, brief, yeah. And one good thing.
Okay, sure. So I am the deputy director of services at CUF. And what we do is that on one side, we help people to apply to affordable housing opportunities, namely like the Affordable Housing Lottery program that New York City has. And we help to guide them through the application process. And also, like once they get selected, submitting their documents and guiding them through and coaching them through that process. And then on the other side of the org, we also do community organizing and getting our members out to different actions and events so that it's not just that, people are getting the help that they need, but that their voices are also being heard and that their concerns are being heard as well. And then good news, I guess it's more on the personal side. It's been a very long process for myself and my brother. We have been in the process of purchasing a co-op apartment, and we finally got word of a closing date. So I'm very excited about that. So that's top of my mind right now. And then I'll pass it to Krista.
So that means when your opening day, we're gonna go to your house, you're gonna serve us, right? No, I'm only kidding.
Hi, I'm Krista. I am a constituent services specialist at CUF. I work with Anna, so she gave a very good, thorough overview of what we do. And I would say a good thing that has happened recently is our team supports a lot of people through the housing lottery process, and we've had a couple people move into their apartments within the past few weeks. So I'm very excited that they get to spend the holidays in their new homes that are actually affordable. And yeah, I will pass it off to the next person.
Yeah. Educated Little Monsters.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you and see some familiar faces. It's been a while for those that I haven't seen in a while. But my name is Jazz. I run a community program prioritizing youth, but kind of all ages as it's morphed over the years, called Educated Little Monsters. I started probably back in like 2011, 2012 as a way, as I seen the community change, AKA gentrification, and leaving less and less for the people, especially as a mom. For the kids from here, I decided to start like a community program, and that program grew. So we do a little bit of, everything, dance. We have dance mirrors, we have like DJ mixers, beat pads. We do entrepreneurship. So once they turn a certain age, then they start to be able to produce and curate their own events, because one of the things that I felt was really important was especially seeing the scene change in Bushwick and having a lot of like these music and art spaces, predominantly gentrified, uh, ran, I felt like it was really important for the kids that were growing up here to also be successful and thrive, and not only have the resources, but if they were really serious about it, to create economical platforms and eventually housing. It's, for those who know us, it's been a really long run. After a while, we decided to have a venue. So we have been running venues since probably like late 2015 until recently, but every year we lose a different space. And we've become more self-sustainable, which is why having a venue for young people to come and just be wildly free, like literally just be yourselves, do what you want to do, but also mentor them to be leaders in their communities and to take up more space in a place where we're being displaced, if that makes sense. So our venue name is called Monster House Universe. Unfortunately, we just lost that space on September 31st. So one of our main goals is to, it's the first time in probably 9 to 10 years that we don't have the means to transition into another space. And we've decided to start like create an official documentary, because we feel that our story is very important, but also I feel like a lot of people will identify with it, not just in New York and in Bushwick, but like everywhere, because everywhere is getting gentrified. All, Black and brown communities are being upscaled, and, language that's being used to make it better, yada, yada. And I feel like if we can like tell our story, we can get people to start getting spaces now in their communities before the rent goes up. Like we were looking at things in Philly, things in Jersey, because we lose so many spaces. There's storefronts right now that are probably like $2,000 where they're like 10K here, and that's insane. So for us, we understand that gentrification, displacement usually starts with the art scene, the music scene, the murals, and you start to see these things coming in slowly, and we want to empower other people and young people, because young people today are different. They're cut from a different cloth. I'm a mom of a 23-year-old, and yes, he's annoying as hell, but I'm around this generation, and the kids who grew up in my program started when they were 13, and now they're 25. They're the ones running the venues. They're the ones pulling in $2,000, $3,000 on an event, walking away with like 1,500, half of the proceeds, paying rent. And these kids started as kids that started in a program like ours that had nothing. And although we continue to lose space, we have a bigger goal, and our goal is to own. And we want to raise enough money and enough capital in our community to build a building and kind of build the infrastructure of what we lost in the beginning of 2018 in Silent Barn. So we want to have like a venue on the first floor where we can be smart, generate money, hire the kids and the kids that grow up, and also give them autonomy of these spaces to make more money, but also run the full-time programming that we run, which is dance, music, art, entrepreneurship, a bunch of amazing stuff, and then have like apartments upstairs for homeless youth. So and like I said, these things have been ongoing and trying to fight the efforts, but Bushwick is expensive, like extremely expensive. Like a warehouse, a 6,000, 5,000 square foot warehouse is like 20K. And I don't want to ever, in the last 12 years that I've been running this program, I've spent in rent and like keeping this program going over $250,000, and I own nothing. Literally, I continue to lose spaces. So, you know, we are building this documentary, and I think the good news for me is that although we lost the space, it gave us time to kind of like really rest, because those that know us know that we've been fighting this fight. These kids, like I said, were 13 and they're like 23, 25 years old. So that says they're still around. So building this documentary to me is like amazing. And although we don't have the infrastructure of owning a building, we were able to get our first apartment this year under Monster House Universe, which grew to 2 apartments with a landlord that we work with. So we have like a lease that has 4 rooms, and we have 4 of the monsters that grew up in the program. And for almost a year and a half, for the first batch that came in, we were paying half of the rent, and now we filled up all the rooms, and now they all are able to pay a decent amount of rent to live within the Monster House community. So that's like, I think, amazing and great, and I get to cook them dinner. So I'm like, it's a real monster house. Although we lost our space, we are doing the steps to make this a reality, even if it's little. So I'm really happy to be back in this scene. I haven't been in it in a really long time, because it's tough to run these programs on your own, but I'm really excited to see what can come out of this.
Good to see you. Thank you. And just a reminder for folks that are coming next, I have Randall, Darner, Valerie, and then Kayla. Whenever you're ready, Randall. Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear me, Randall. We will bump it forward then and come back. Darner, go ahead.
Can everybody hear me okay? Everybody hear me okay? Everybody hear me?
Yes, a little bit of an echo, but yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. All right. How about now?
Good.
All right. So I am Lieutenant Darner. I work for the Salvation Army as well. I am a pastor and assistant administrator, which means I work alongside with Captain Clifford in the things that the Salvation Army does for the community of Bushwick, which at this time I will not repeat, but I'm just very grateful that we have been serving for over 50 years, just providing that physical help as well as spiritual help to individuals, especially with kids, seniors, and anybody in the community. One of the things that I'm very proud of the organization is that when they come in, we don't ask them, where are you from? What are you? What do you think? What are your beliefs? No, we just serve them without discrimination. We just serve them food. Everybody that just comes to the services just gets served without any barriers to them. So I'm just very happy for that. And I've been here for a year now, and I've been learning little by little, and I'm just very grateful first to be here in this meeting, and very grateful for the things that we offer, that we are able to offer because of the partnerships that we have, and because of the volunteers that we have, and because of the amazing people that God has placed in our way, that we're able to offer what we offer. One good thing is that for me, I speak Spanish, so it's very good that I am able to connect with that community of people that, as they have shared with me, they feel lost. They feel like they don't have anybody. They feel like they are alone in all this. So I have been able to connect with one shelter that we have in the corner, and then another shelter that is like 5 minutes, and build some sort of a community of people where now they went from being alone to being with one another, have a community of people joining together, learning about God, growing in making connections with other people. And I'm just happy that I am able to witness that and offer that alongside with other people that help me do that for the Salvation Army.
Thank you. Randall, I'm not sure if you can hear now. Yep, there's an audio issue. We're not able to hear you. We can try to come back again. Sometimes we still have the technical issues. Valerie's next.
Celeste, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you now. You
Okay,
fixed it.
okay. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Randall Teray, Riseboro, Community Engagement Manager. You've heard from both Maria and from Melisha and about some of the great things that Riseboro has been doing in the community. And I don't want to sort of lean on that, but I just want to talk about some of the great partnerships that we have with many of the organizations that are in this call and throughout the community. I think that one of the things that we all know is that we're all stronger when we work together. And I think that I would love for us to utilize these opportunities in these forums for all of us to continue to work together. Celeste and CB4, Mr. Camacho has been incredible partners for us. Make the Road, we worked well with them. Asenhat and El Puente, we worked with you guys. I mean, we just worked with so many people here, and we want to continue to work with everybody. So that's my piece. Just wanted to let you know that we're doing more with advocacy also, and this is another way we work with other groups throughout the city. And a new group that we're working with is they're not new, but is Transportation Alternatives, and there's a new law that they're pushing forward called Sammy's Law. I don't know if many of you are aware of it, but Sammy's Law is a law that would require around schools in certain areas to lower the speed limit so that young people and other folks who are could potentially be injured, those speed limits are at lower than, say, the normal 25 miles per hour. So they could potentially be lowered to 20 or 15 miles an hour, which has shown to save lives. However, there are other issues, but I think that Sammy's Law is something that we as a community should talk about. I spoke to Celeste about it the other day, and it hasn't come before CB4, but I know that it's something that's being pushed around the city by a lot of legislatures. So I think as a community, we should talk about the pros and cons of Sammy's Law. But in general, we should continue to have conversations around policy and advocacy around the budget, because we are all suffering around this budget. And so we should continue all to work together on that budget issue, because every time, there is a what they call a small cut in the budget, it has a major effect on everyone's life. So I think that's something that we all should continue to rally around. Each of us have our own things we're doing, but I think we all have the commitment to the community. And I think the budget cuts that are taking place is something that we need to sort of continue to push back on, because there are other places to cut the budget in, not necessarily just cut budget in social services and in ways that help people's lives. Just want to make a point that the Sammy's Law, Sammy was a young 13-year-old boy who was killed in a traffic situation, crossing the street. I believe the traffic was about 25 or 30 miles an hour, and he was actually killed crossing the street. So that's one of the reasons why this is such an important law, or important bill that they're attempting to make into law. So what the simple thing, so it can be clear, what Sammy's Law does is to basically give New York City the right to determine speed limits, because right now speed limits are determined in Albany, not New York City. And so Sammy's Laws would just give the right to the New York City government to determine speed limits, because New York City knows what's best for New York City. So with that said, I just want to thank you. The good thing, we talked about our food giveaway. We talked about Christmas. But one of the things I want to talk about is that we also were able to give away close to 800 turkeys for Thanksgiving. A lot of seniors were able to get turkeys. A lot of community residents would get turkeys, and we were able to give out close to 500 turkeys in Brownsville, our neighbors to the north, to the south. And so just wanted to let you know that we're continuing to work with the entire community. So this time of year is always a good time for giving. But we want to make sure that we can continue this sort of mindset year round. Thank you. Thank you, Celeste, for holding on.
Thanks, Randall. All right, Valerie and then Kayla.
Hi, everyone. I represent the city agency connected to the New York City Parks Department called Green Thumb. Green Thumb focuses on all the community gardens in different forms of support, but predominantly Green Thumb is the largest urban gardening program in the nation. And in New York City alone, there's 550 green spaces with over 200,000 volunteers stewarding this land, creating collective hubs for their communities and growing their own food and creating spaces to socialize and, make their own. Bushwick Community Board 4 has 18 gardens, and it varies from Brooklyn, Queens Land Trust, and also Parks Department. Something that I'm proud that our agency has been able to do is that we've had over 80 workshops this year and 8 intensive trainings, fluctuating from being a bike marshal and also chicken coop, pruning, and I'm blanking on some of them but yeah, it's been incredible. With almost 2,000 participants in it. I should tell you about, am I missing something? I should tell you about like what I do as my position, right?
You can, and then your one good thing, yeah.
And then that was my one good thing. I can give you another good thing though. So I'm a community engagement coordinator, meaning that I'm relatively new, so I'm still meeting the gardeners, but my goal is to meet these gardeners and help them with leadership development, help the garden group with their capacity sometimes and common time. A lot of the times that a lot of these common issues that garden groups may have is through decision making, through leadership transitioning, and through outreach, making sure that their community is represented and also having a democracy in the sense of decision making in their garden spaces. That's it.
Thank you. All right. Next we have Kayla.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla Mejia. I'm here representing Mesa Charter High School. My role there is Director of External Affairs and Communications. And is it one good thing that's like going on at Mesa or?
In general, just a good thing.
In general, one good thing, we launched yesterday our second cohort of our alumni lab, which is our project that we're super proud of most recently, where we help high school graduates between the ages of 18 and 24 in this 6-week-long program in hopes of them finding a career with upward mobility. There's a $500 stipend. And the workshops consist of interviewing preparation, resume building, financial literacy, etc. So I'll say that's our good thing happening over at Mesa right now.
All right. I believe that's everyone. Did I unintentionally miss someone? I don't think so. Yes, go ahead.
Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. My name is Alyssa Velez. I'm the Civic Engagement Coordinator here at El Puente. One of the big things that we've been working on is the participatory budgeting cycles for cycle 1, which is now working on its implementation phase, and cycle 2, which we actually just wrapped up collecting ideas from community members. So it's been a great privilege to be able to work with the Bushwick community and different organizations on this work. And something to be excited about is that implementation. It's coming along quite nicely. Also with the support of Cynthia and BCP and all of their great work. So thank you so much.
All right. And I believe Kim from our office is also on. Kim, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, just say hello. Just your name and what you do in the office. All right.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Just joining in to hear all about the organizations and learn more about the services that are rendered in the district. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kim. So I just want to say again, thank you to everyone for being here. You know, it's now 3, we have the time until 3:30, and on the agenda, we also have, you know, needs, but I think that these introductions, right, we did a really great job of characterizing not only what we do, but of some of the needs in this community, because it's the reason why our services and programs exist, right? And I just want to pick up on a few things that came up, you know, especially with everything that's going on in the city right now with the budget. You know, I think a great way for us to better understand those needs, right? You know, share the testimony, right? If you're going, you know, let it communicate. If you're going to go testify, let's have Bushwick go out in full force, right? These are conversations we always have at the board level. But we also know that this is something each organization has to deal with, you know, when it comes to the budget as well. And so the purpose of this forum is to make sure that we're all aligned in our advocacy and we all understand the work that we're doing. And then ultimately, right, better connecting the community to these services. There's so much out there, right? But it's almost impossible. You know, we're so busy running everything and doing so many things at the same time that, you know, it's hard to always get the information to the people that need it the most, even though that's literally, you know, what we do every day in and out. So some other ideas, you know, came up, you know, during these discussions and these conversations. I think that that's natural. You know, you have a lot of brain power here. And I just want to just say some of the commentary, if not all of the commentary, gave me the chills. You know, people are sick, people had a day off, you know, but you're still here, you're still present, showing up for this community. And that means a lot. You know, that I think that really shows who we are here in Bushwick, and who we've been, you know, despite all the changes that are happening. So I still want to hold that space. You know, if folks have any, you know, pressing needs, or you're going to be out in the street, you have a press conference coming up, you know, but otherwise, if there's any way that we can all get involved, right? The other purpose of this was to more effectively collaborate. So we don't have 20 backpack giveaways, but maybe like 5, you know, where we just cover strategically different parts of the neighborhood. So, you know, I mean, it's cool to go to school with 20 different backpacks, but you know, just as an example of how we can, you know, work with one another and perhaps service the community in a way that's a bit more efficient, you know, and collaborate with each other. I'll just say one other thing about the reason we thought this was the right time to have this conversation. I was in a meeting at Hope Gardens, the tenant association office, and a community stakeholder. I'm sure many of you know who they are. You know, I won't name names, but I was shocked when they said they didn't know someone at a prominent backbone organization in the community. I said, what do you mean you don't know who's there anymore? They're like, the people have changed. And I was like, how have we got, like, you know, so how have we gotten to this point? And I think it happens, right? You know, people, you know, staff come and go, you know, many of us known each other for years, but there's always something going on. You know, we're worried, you know, about something, you know, within the organization, you know, the stability within the community. So this space is really meant to be that reconnection, right? You know, just some time out of our day to make sure we know who we are, and we know how we can support one another, you know, the way that we support this community. So I will pause. Cynthia, go for it. Oh,
I'm if I may add, Celeste, what I always encourage folks to do is to think about, as you were saying, you know this better than anyone. We're always talking about how we could collaborate. And these are, as folks were speaking, I was taking down information. So if you could please add your information, your contact information in the chat, so I could take that and follow up with folks, maybe not myself, but someone from my team, about possibilities of collaborating, right? We all bring something to the table, and we might be doing similar services, but how beautiful would it be if someone were to come into the storefront asking for coffee, right? Because sometimes we have people coming in asking for coffee, and we're sitting there, we're asking them, do you need a coat? And I could connect you to Riseboro, whether it's home base, or I know this, we do this all the time, but we make appointments for Churches United, right? So how does that look? Where can we connect the children with schools? Someone had said something about the Salvation Army, and Mr. Montilla and Douglas, I would love to get your contact information, because we have people contacting us about donations, right? Like, where can I send that? So I encourage for these conversations to continue, but I would also say and encourage folks to join us. If you don't know about them, we have our monthly meetings on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. We have them both in person and virtually. And this idea of collective impact, collaborating, is something that we're constantly discussing, because in order for us to best assist the children and families we work with, we need to know who's doing what. And I'm a strong believer, if I bring the breakfast, right, which we provide breakfast, and on December 19th from 10 to 12, we'll have a warm breakfast. And if I bring the food and we have conversation, we break bread about what services are missing. Maybe it's not, us who do it, but maybe it's a collaboration between Selena and El Puente, so New York Psychotherapy and El Puente. And how does that look? Where do we start? So it is a space to do that. Thank you. I see everyone putting their information in the chat. Thank you so much. I also do want to let you all know that I know we've been doing a few coat distributions, but our office, I always say to folks, I don't need you to know the name. I just need you to know that we're by Capital One, the Capital One Bank on Wyckoff on December 12th. I'll put all this information in the chat. On December 12th, we're hosting a coat distribution for children. We've been seeing a lot of children in this community with no coats. And I know a lot of coat distributions have been happening, and it's concerning that we still see children with no coats. So something's going on. I'm gonna put some of that information. If we are trying to purchase the coats in advance, so if folks could just let me know, hey, Cynthia, I have a family that needs coats, so that way I could purchase in advance. That's all.
Camacho, did you have something? I know you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all for getting on and feeding us some information in regards to programming and some of the things that you guys are doing, because I know we meet with a lot of city agencies and we know what's going on, and we're constantly fighting for more services and more money. So I know that you want to make sure that the people that are doing the work don't get cut off, because I know I pitch a very important topic, and it's a lot of times when we come and we get services here, or we ask for money for more services. I know for a fact that some people say, well, you guys you guys don't vote. There's an election, and the numbers aren't there. So if the numbers aren't there, how can we push to make sure that we do a cohesive a voting block, so we can start getting some of these elected officials to put money into this community, like we should have all the time, not fighting among each other for this piece or two pieces here or two pieces, where we all can say we really need a block to close some of these things down. Because I know that lots of times people say, well, I knew this person that had this program. Guess what? I no longer have this program because they took away my grant, or they eliminated some of the services that were in there. So I know I am part of the neighborhood advisory board too, that funds you guys. Most of you guys get money through the Department of Youth and Community Development. So I know that there's going to be a meet and greet on December 11th, on Monday, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the Riseboro 1474 gates. I'm going to send this to you, so whoever's getting any funding through DYCD, so let's make sure that that funding continue going. We make sure that everyone, these youth groups or the programs that we have, continue to get funding, or the people that don't have know how to apply for some of these grants and loans to them to start the funding. So there is a meet and greet. So I know Celeste, I sent her the flyer. So I want everybody to get involved and try to get whatever my men, but you got it's like Lotto, you got to be in it to win it. And if you don't get the money, then we can't complain about it later on. It says, well, there's money out there that we got to do. So all you not-for-profit organizations should be applying through all these things. We should all be getting together and making sure that when someone calls the office and tells Celeste, oh, we know who to go to. And that's all we want to do, link the services to the community and the community to the service. And I want to thank all of y'all. It's a hard, hard job that Celeste and Kim and these people that are doing now. And it's getting harder and harder and harder now because different people are coming in with different ideas and how they want to run Bushwick. And we want to make sure that the people that have been living here all their lives and the people that have been serving this community all their lives continue to do what they have to do. So I just want to make sure that we take care of Bushwick.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho. Jazz?
I mean, this is really cool and interesting because literally what I was gonna come here and say was everything that Camacho just said. With all of the things that I had mentioned earlier on with, you know, all of the programming that I do, I'm in a place right now where I need help. I mean, I've always needed help and I've always deserved funding. And there was a time that I had my nonprofit status and I don't anymore. My program has been running for over a decade and it has been completely like, I consider like Elm and the Monster community and how we run things is very like underground, nonprofit, very, 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 very grassroots. So like everything that we do, from the merch that we sell, the art shows that we do, the markets that we run, the open studios, like everything we do, like 90% of those profits always go back to the community. But I'm in a place right now where I'm older. I've been running Bushwick in the streets with these kids for over 10 years. And my dream is to be like El Puente and to be like Make the Road. I'm like the baby version of that. I would love to sit here and be like 50 years in and I have like millions of dollars in funding because the programming that we do deserves that. And I have a decade of videos and documentaries and you know, like I'm the work that I do is real. You know, the difference with me is that I don't have the knowledge for the bureaucratic side of things, if that makes sense. You know, I'm a mom, I'm a Puerto Rican girl from Brooklyn, raised in Brownsville, East New York. And, you know, I feel like I definitely deserve a lot more of the resources. And like Camacho said, that's why I'm like, it's crazy because the reason I raised my hand was to say the things that Camacho said is like, you know, from what I've seen today, mostly everyone here is either running an organization or working with an organization that already has the hierarchy when it comes to the nonprofit status, the funding, the grant writers. I don't have anything. And for me to be running this program for over 10 years and literally have kids that were 13 years old that are now 24 and 25 that will show up and advocate for what we have done in Bushwick, I feel like it's very powerful. And I feel like it, and I'm not saying that, you know, no one help. Well, you know, I just feel like I need more help and I'm like vulnerably, you know, in a vulnerable and transparent state, put myself back in these rooms as to say, because I need mentors. There's so much knowledge and 10 years, like I deserve to have a full running nonprofit and getting funding and we should all be getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And the program, I shouldn't be losing spaces every 6 months to a year. And still running programming. So that's what I'm coming for. I put my information in the chat. You know, Educated Little Monsters, it's grown to like Monster House Universe, but we still do a lot in the community. And I would love, you know, if there's anyone that's willing to take, like the meeting that Camacho just brought up, I think is, you know, right in what I need to, the rooms that I need to be. So I would love to see that flyer. I would love to get that information so I can make it. Now that I don't have a space, sorry, I have like really bad allergies. Now that I don't have a space, like I said, I get to really sit with myself and look at myself like out of being like this mom that's been running this programming for over a decade and has this amazing story to tell. Like I get to come back out and like meet people. And I haven't been in these rooms for a really long time. But I want to be at these places. And if there's anyone that's willing to take me like under the wing, to give me some knowledge, to give me some help, but like it's very, very crucial at this point that this program, this movement, this community run organization is a full nonprofit, because we deserve that money that we're talking, because there is money coming into Bushwick and there is a lot of money coming into our communities, but a lot of us don't have the knowledge. We don't even know where to begin. Some of us don't even have the self-esteem or the confidence to put us in rooms like this. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how oppression works in our community. So there's a lot of people like me. There's a lot of young people like me that deserve to feel confident enough to walk into these rooms, even knowing nothing, because it's not taught in our world. So I want to take all of it in, and I just need help in becoming a nonprofit and what the steps, because I'm lost. I've tried and I'm just like, I this is just crazy and I can't, and I need help. So that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Jazz. And so I have some suggestions as we start to wrap up, but I will start by saying what we will do in terms of the office and follow-up. We will be posting this on our YouTube, on the board's YouTube. So in case anyone missed it, in case you want to go back, get some notes, we'll be sending a list of the participants from today. We'll include the contact info and email, and then also the website, just in case, because the next meeting we have, there'll be some homework. So we won't be doing the introductions again, of course. You know, anyone that would like to know who does what can, of course, do a little bit of research beforehand. I imagine things will come up naturally in conversation. And then my suggestion for meetings at this point would be, you know, every quarter. So this is December now, we're ending, you know, still in the fall. I imagine we could do a late winter meeting the beginning of March. And the format that I kind of see, very similar to our district service cabinet that we have with the city agencies, whether you're providing an organizational update, a need, talking about a need, or, you know, good news, or all of the above. That's how we'll kind of format it. So just any information that you would like to share that you think would be relevant to the community. And that doesn't change how we communicate in between. Really just these forums are in addition to that, supplementing that, just in case we can build some connections. And if there's any final announcements or comments that folks have, now would be the time.
Celeste, I wanted to chime in only because I was the first one to speak and didn't kind of, I'm so used to the 15 seconds on the community board to speak really fast on organizations. So I kind of got that in my head every time I see you. So it's like, click out, that's it. So I didn't kind of elaborate on what communities resist is. Communities resist. I'm the, I have to laugh. I'm the director of organizing at Communities Resist. We are a nonprofit legal aid organization. We organize tenant associations and tenants. We represent tenants in their fight against their landlords for repairs, harassment, no heat, no hot water, displacement, evictions. That's pretty much, we have about 10 attorneys now representing tenants in Brooklyn, and now we're in Queens. So there's a lot going on. So you can get in touch with me. My number is my information is in the chat. So next time I won't keep it so short. Thanks.
We're going to have to do something about that, Camacho. Everybody has like time trauma from our meetings. We have to rush so much. So
I don't know, man, Celeste. I don't know what to do.
I don't know how we're going to make time. We're going to have to put that on the list. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We really appreciate it. And we wish you all happy holidays, safe and happy holidays. And we'll certainly be seeing you around the neighborhood and all the activities that are happening this month. Bye, everyone.
And thank you.
Thank you.